The entire crypto market has been going absolutely insane. But believe it or not, you look at these charts and some of them look like they're just getting started. And there's a number of these altcoins that look like they're just going to go parabolic or make huge gains. We try not to be too clickbaity and not to be too crazy, but there are times when you stop sitting on your hands and you strike while the iron's hot. And man, this market seems to be one of them. I've got Wick with me here today. We're going to talk about some trading alpha, show you a bunch of coins that look like they have a lot more potential. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of Wall Street. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Yeah, there's a lot of happening on this channel these days. Obviously, I had Matt Hogan, James Butterfield, Chris Inks this morning was one of my favorite conversations we had in a while. But there's not a show that I look forward to, honestly, more each week than this one because Wick breaks it down and just consistently shows us things in advance of them happening, making a lot of money. Obviously, using Trading Alpha, which is the indicator suite that he created. You can use the link right down below if you're interested in these when you see them. And this is the only place you can consistently get 25% off by using the code 25OFF. I'm bringing them on right now. Dude, this market is insane.
Dude, isn't it fun? I'm excited to be here, and we've got a lot to cook through, Scott.
Yeah, I'm just going to let you go for it. I'm obviously on vacation. I'm drinking a Modelo. I've got the beach out to the right. So time for me to just watch you chart some things here. Let's start with Bitcoin.
Let's do it. And for those of you, Scott prefaced this by showing me a video of the beach. So thank you, Scott. I appreciate that one. As his cheeks are all rosy. Let's start with Bitcoin here. So guys, I'm starting with this, not because I'm going to run through the same thing, because I want to tell you about a dynamic that is changing that I can give you a few tips about. Okay, we talked about this today in the VIP Discord area. We went into depth on this and a couple of things we're going through. So one thing that I'm noticing is, yes, right, on the weekly chart, this looks lovely. We know what we're doing. We're riding the green dots. They have not stopped, and we're all the way over here at all-time highs. But what I am noticing, especially on weekends and on the lower time frames, is that the stop hunters have come out to play. So if you guys are trading, please, let me give you this advice. Get off of those lower time frames. You don't always have to do this, but right now it does not look like a very good environment. So to show you that, right, you can see how clear this is, right? It's looking just like the previous cycle. And I've been saying that this from this area here and this area here, it's going to do the same thing. So it's done that. But let's just go ahead and turn the indicators off. And I want you guys to see just how volatile this stuff is on the 1 hour chart, okay? What you're going to notice is this volatility of just stop hunting, right? Constant wicks to the downside and upside. So this is very hard to trade. Even if you get actionable setups on the lower time frames, it does not take that much liquidity to splash the pot, aka to move the chart, right? So you don't want to be in a setup like this, right? I think we actually had some bottom green dot setups here, and then you get wicked out, right, as well. So just be careful of those lower time frame setups. In my Discord, in the VIP that comes with the Alpha Bundle indicators, it's just free so I can help everyone win. I let them know that I really wouldn't focus on anything but the weekly chart and the daily chart right now. So, you know, obviously it gets a little better when you switch the indicators on, but specifically, start focusing on the daily and the weekly chart. Okay, so with that said, let's move into some other coins, and we can keep that same frame of mind where we're going to focus.
Yeah, when in doubt, zoom out. One of my favorite, you know, sayings for when you're trading. And in this market, Raoul Paul, who, by the way, I have Raoul Paul tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Nice. But he keeps saying, "Don't fuck this up." That's like his new thing. And we saw like Wick yesterday. We saw like 400 million in liquidations on that move from 72 down to 69 and back to 72. Those were all people who were long. They're all right, and they're losing their money. It's crazy right now.
Yeah, you got to switch to the lower. You got to switch to the higher time frames. And you know, guys, this is a very, very bullish area that we're in. So, like Rob Paul says, don't fuck it up. I have this friend, and I'm going to actually drop his name here. His name's Lenny. My boy Lenny in real life, he bought Bitcoin at 65,000, and this whole bear market, he's been asking me, John, when do I buy back in? Or sorry, when do I sell? I just want to break even. And he's literally just sold at break even. And I told him, don't do that. Okay. What I'm getting at is there's no overhead resistance here, guys. So please don't be on those lower time frames and get shaken out from this move, because it's very, very simple. Weekly, daily, ride the green dots, right? That's all it's been. I mean, even if you switch to the daily here on Bitcoin, you can see all our setups: stage 1 basing, stage 2 breakout, ride the green dots. Same thing, stage 3, stage 2, ride the green dots on the arrow, right? This happens all the way. So let's move to our other coins. Let's talk about Solana, okay?
My God.
I know you guys know I love this stuff. It is my biggest bag for just to put that out there. Solana is looking great, okay? Solana did break out here, and I drew this line here. I've had this line up on my charts on Twitter. For those of you that aren't following me on Twitter, I do post a lot of setups. In fact, I posted this setup this morning on Twitter at $151, and then just a couple hours later, it went to 162, I believe, as the high. And let me tell you that setup, and I went over that setup in more detail afterwards in the Discord again, okay? So the setup is this. We have a resistance area, right? If you don't catch the stage 2 breakout, let's say you get the tools or you join me and Scott late and you didn't catch our entries here and here, what you're looking for is you're looking for retests that end up in green dot reactions. So for instance, a retest of our track line would always be a good setup if the next bar ends in a green dot reaction like this one. I think actually Scott on the show actually bought this wick over here when we had the green dot reaction,
80
okay?
bucks. Yeah, about
80 bucks. Yep, he actually took that entry. The next entry just like that is when you can identify pivotal resistances. As you can see, it's a pivotal resistance, okay? We break above it. You wait for the retest. The retest happens. You can see the wick almost to the dollar right there, okay? What happens? We get a green dot reaction off of that. So just like a test of the track line, so is a test of the resistance areas. And again, I posted this morning. If you're not following me, ZeroHedge_ on Twitter. I post a lot of these a lot of times in the mornings, okay? So we did get that set up, and I want to talk. Yes. And I want to talk about this same setup on multiple coins, okay? Because it's the only thing we're looking for. You guys have missed a lot of the stage 2s. There are a few of them we'll go over, but always look for that resistance retest that ends up in a green dot reaction, okay? Switching over. Actually, let's do this. Let's go to let's switch to near here. But you can see Solana, even on the daily chart, right? If you're looking for daily and weekly, you missed the move. Here's a squeeze breakout. That was the last move. You simply hold the green dots. They keep you in the whole way. And what do? We hit a little bit of resistance that we had before that I talked about, okay? Moving on to near. Let's start on the weekly chart. Weekly chart here, you can see here that yep, the same thing. We have bottom signals in stage 1, breakout into stage 2. You have green dots. What do the green dots do, guys? They pull back towards the breakout area. Then we get a green dot reaction. So we actually lose dots right there, okay, which I explained to the Discord this morning is okay. But if we do happen to get a green dot right at these resistance levels, when I draw them on Twitter, guys, these are actionable setups, and you simply do the same thing when we go parabolic. You hold the green dot. So now we're in a full stage 2, part 2 breakout, okay? This is the place where you hold green dots and you just stay long. So I think near is a good one. I think that if near had to pull back, okay, so this is what to watch in the coming weeks. If near pulls back towards this little real pivotal resistance, okay, this is called a logical place, okay? I watch for this all the time, and we get a green dot reaction off of this logical place. That is an actionable setup. It's a really good one, okay? So that's what I'm watching for on near. And then let me see. Let's actually switch to the daily chart here and see what we have on the daily chart, because that's my theme today, right? Where we're using the daily and we're using the weekly. So as you can see here, the same setups we get. B bottom signals, which means that there's a bottom pattern happening. We get the trend strengthening with green dots. That's your setup right there, even without the squeeze shading, okay? The other setup is the squeeze shading followed by green dots. So this right here is one of our setups, 2 of our setups just in one, okay? You had the same thing happen from down here. This will happen over and over again whenever we have corrections, guys. This is how you utilize the tools. Wait for the setups, wait for the green dot confirms, and then just ride them as they go parabolic. Now, as I said on the weekly chart, if you missed this, we are looking to see if in the next couple weeks we do get any weakness to pull back to this area, which will be your next setup for near. You got anything, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly how I would look at it. Obviously, I'm using your indicators. So to me, I'm like sitting here getting lessons just like everyone else. I love it.
Lovely. Okay, so let's talk about probability. I talked about this again in the Discord this morning. I think about everything in terms of probability. Okay, anytime I can stack something in my favor and call it a higher probability, that gives me more conviction. So I'm talking about this because of this B right here that had both the shade. If you took the shaded squeeze breakout arrow on green dots, or the B confirmed by green dots, one of my favorite setups, both of these started to get confirmed with higher volume. If you look at the wick volume at the below, this is an alpha volume. The red line below the red line is low volume, above it is high volume, and above the green line is extreme volume. And you can see how the volume started to come in right at that breakout arrow, and it got stronger and stronger. Okay, so that's your conviction coming through here. Always look for our confirmation on our confirmation indicators. Switching over now to Doge. Okay, Doge is another one. I'm sure you can see exactly what's happening here if you've been following me for a while on my Twitter. We're going through a sideways basing pattern. In this basing pattern, I'm sure a lot of you that are new to our tools see it going below and above, green dots, red dots. When we have green dots and red dots, I'm expecting this to happen. I'm expecting price action to go above and below the track line when we're in stage one. In fact, that's one of the indications I use to identify and say, okay, now we're basing in stage one. When is that stage two breakout? Okay. And as you can see, what have we done? We've broken above this line right here. We're now in stage two on Dogecoin. Okay. Dogecoin is very volatile, right? You know, it's a meme coin. And as Scott said, we're rotating into meme coins now. And you do want to ride those green dots whenever that big wave comes. So that's what we're hoping comes at some point, right? But if you haven't gotten in this move and you're looking for another setup, tell me what it is. You're going to wait for a possible retest of the resistance. If we don't get that, it just means the asset is so strong. It's showing such relative strength, right, that you either missed that one or you're in it. But a lot of times, more often than not, these assets will give you a chance to rebuy on a retest of the breakout zone, and you simply just wait for those green dots for confirmation. Don't just buy the retest, because you can certainly go into red dots and just flip down, right? But wait for that confirmation. That's what I think the next setup is on Doge. You know, it's really hard for these Wednesday shows for me to give you just actionable setups right away, because it's, you know, on Wednesday. You would have caught the stage two breakout, but the retest is what I would look for next. What do you think, Scott? Have you been watching Doge?
I mean, I want to ask you. I'm watching it. I actually have a whole new thesis I've been saying on every show that came from a show yesterday morning. That actually, I think mainstream adoption and retail comes FOMOing back in when Doge makes the new all-time high, because that's what everybody bought last cycle, and they probably don't even know what's happening with Bitcoin. But if they see Doge back in the 70-something cents range and they bought it up there when Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live, I think that's what's going to get them coming flying back. So I'm actually watching it really carefully. I think it could be sort of our weather vane for what's going to really happen for getting mainstream to care. That's
a great point, Scott. That's all valid points. That makes sense to me.
So yeah, I'm watching it closely, and I align with you. But I do think, I do think this personally will go back to an all-time high if we get this sustained, multi-month, year and a half bull market.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, right? And the meme coins are a really good way to kind of watch that liquidity cycle as well, right? Because when there's more liquidity coming into the market, people just rotate their profits into these smaller caps. And that's a dynamic too that a lot of people that are just starting off don't understand, is that you'll see Bitcoin start to rip higher, right? And then their altcoins that they just got into will start to pull back a little bit. And that's just those that are playing the liquidity game. You've got a lot of these funds and these shops that are really rotating from large caps into small caps. And every time that Bitcoin kind of pauses, you'll see your small caps kind of pull up a little bit. So all the way it's going to the top right of the screen, but your small caps will have a lot more volatility. If we put the Bs on here, let's see what happens. Boom, look at that. So there's your setup on the weekly chart for Doge that would have caught the stage two breakout. B's bottoming pattern, double bottom right there, green dots, you're in it, boom, 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 boom. Lose the green dots. What do we have? We have a retest of the track line and green dot here. Now, sure, you could say this one went all the way through, John, but surely if this was about at this level here, breaking through this resistance too, you probably would have called this the confirmation and got in, right? And it would have gone a lot higher. But we did catch this move on the weekly. You just got to be sure to set your alerts, right? That's another thing. If you right click, you can go and actually add alerts for all our indicators. So if you have them and you just got them, make sure you're utilizing the alerts. You're not just waiting for these things, hoping that you catch it, okay? Moving on to another meme coin here. with. A lot of people thought that this one was over. No, it's not. Not in my opinion. I think this one is just getting started. Could I be wrong? Yes, these are meme coins, okay? But look and just hear me out. This right here, all of this is your stage 1 basing, okay? Stage 1 basing that ends up at a resistance right here. Break above the resistance. I think we're just now going into stage 2, okay? So this is very actionable. And in fact, this is the only one that I'm using today that is on a lower time frame on an hourly chart, okay? For the most part, stay on your daily and weekly, but here to just demonstrate this is a breakout happening right now today, and you have your little B signal, and we did get green dots a lot earlier, but here's your retest again, another setup, and we're now breaking into stage 2, Scott. So that's my one for today that I think you guys will like.
Meme coin madness, dude. But listen, it is what it is. Did you see that Franklin Templeton had a tweet and a report on meme coins today?
I did not.
I don't know if you saw that.
Really?
I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, I got to find it, but you keep going. I'll bring it over in a minute. Okay. But yeah, they're literally talking about meme coins.
Yeah, bring it up. And for those of you looking at this chart here too, also notice when that B came up, what happened on volume, right? You see it, right? I know you see it. So this is what I'm talking about. When you use a lot of different setups and you use them to confirm each other, you end up getting a better gut feel. And this is all just based upon probabilities. We have a bottom B signal. We have a green dot starting right there, little pullback. Volumes already started to pick up a lot more than it's been. This was a very, very good and easy setup to catch, whether you call it the B breaking out or whether you call it the retest over here. Moving on to Ethereum here. The reason why I brought this one up, Scott, is simply because I hear a lot of people talking to me and saying, hey, John, like, you know, you said Ethereum was going to pop, you know, it's kind of stalled. No. Do you see this? This is completely vertical, guys. It does not get, this is a weekly chart. It does not get more vertical than this. So when I have my levels already drawn and you guys see the price hit these levels, yeah, expect it to slow down a little bit, especially when it's gone vertical. I'm still very bullish on Ethereum. And I think that once we break this level, and look here, it wicked just up to the top of my zone. So when it breaks this level, just like I said before, I think we'll have room to run all the way up to about $4,600. So be patient. Ethereum's not going anywhere. The beast has already awoken. You got anything on Ethereum, Scott?
You know that I agree, right? We had the Denkun upgrade today that nobody's seemingly talking about. Now, you know, layer 2s are going to effectively go down to almost no fees, competing with the Solanas and the TRXs. And we still have the Ethereum spot ETF narrative. I think that it's just, as we've said every single week, and it continues to go up, it's just lagging, which is an opportunity, right? You want things that are lagging if you think the market's going to continue.
Absolutely. And, you know, no one's ever right. But when you have confluence of two people like Scott and I that are both holding bags of Ethereum, not because we're under, because we're bullish, I mean, take it as a science. I've got a really good feeling for this. Again, I'd be very surprised if in this cycle we didn't see Ethereum really rip higher. I just think we're just pausing a little bit at resistance after a really nice parabolic run up. So I just wanted to point that out.
From Texas West Capital, also bullish on Ethereum this morning. So a lot of confluence. Yeah.
Nice. And in fact, let's do this. Let's go to the daily chart, because remember, this theme today is focusing on daily charts and weekly charts. Okay. And again, I echoed this to everyone in my Discord this morning, and we went into more detail. But let's just take a second to look at these B bottom setups. Okay. So this is the daily charts at $2,300. We did have B's printing here, followed by green dots, guys. It does not get any simpler than this. And if you tell me, oh, Wick, you're cherry picking, am I? Okay, let's zoom out. There's your second B green dots all the way, okay? These setups are my bread and butter. For many years, I thought about not releasing these, okay? And in fact, for 2 years, for those of you that are new, for 2 years, we sold the Alpha Bundle, and they did not have, there was no way to get these Bs. I was actually working on them for 2 years. And guess what? If we zoom out, there's even more of them, okay? Even more of them that, okay, so obviously this one kind of went sideways. There's no green dots until right here. So there was a little move, but that's 3 in a row right there, okay? On the daily chart. So watch your weekly charts, watch your daily charts. Let's move over to one of my favorite coins other than Solana, which is Render. Okay, so Render's looking absolutely amazing. If you've been following me, I've been catching this all the way since our stage 2 breakouts over here. Look here, you have a retest of what? The track line. You get green dots. There's your second setup, okay? Now, what's happening right now? So at $9, okay, I had a few people, my buddy Vinny and them, call me and ask me, okay, where do you think Render's going next? And I did a lot of work, and I gave them an answer, and I even tweeted it, and I said $13, okay? It really wasn't that long before we started to target $13, but we did get front run on my target at about 12.70. Okay. And that's still what I think is the line in the sand. So I still think that Render is going to be one of your most bullish coins this cycle. That's my opinion. I think relative strength stays relative strength in these cycles, and you simply just look for more setups on some of the stronger coins again. So I think Render is going to be good, but the next setup, in my opinion, guys, won't be for a minute. I think that if you're watching the weekly chart, we really need to clear this $13. Even though it didn't reach $13, I think that's the psychological number right now. Let's clear it. Let's get a setup on the breakout, set up on the retest, and I think that'll be your next move on Render. Okay. And
yeah, I mean, those are pretty clear tweezer tops on the weekly right there. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
they are.
It doesn't mean it will be a top, but that's a topping type signal, right? Big wicks up, they're equal wicks. That's not what you want to see necessarily in the short term.
100%. And I hate to do this, but let's just see. Let's go and turn some tops on here and see if anything happens. Hopefully not. Okay, so we're clear for now.
People need to know.
Yeah, there's no confirmed tops there, but yeah, no, 100%. That does look like a little bit of a double top. So we'll see what happens. But the good thing is, Scott, just like I've said before, just ride the green dots, right? When the green dots stop, it means that the trend is really losing some strength. So for me, it's all good. I'm not closing any positions. I don't know about you. I just think that if you aren't in Render already, this is not the time to buy. Wait for the breakout higher, right, to be even higher. So that's my opinion on Render. Last one I have for you guys is Litecoin. Okay. Now this one is very, very interesting to me. Let's get rid of volume. Scott, do you remember when we were waiting for Ethereum and it kept having squeeze breakouts to the upside, and that 1 week it even broke out a little bit like this and had that little fake out, right? Do you remember that?
I do.
Because if you don't remember that, I can show it to you.
Like it. Yeah,
it's
show
right
it
here.
People see, yeah, kind of
right
that
there.
just ascending triangle. Yeah.
So whenever I see squeeze breakouts that are constantly trying to break out to the upside, it is a sign to me that really the market wants it, right? That's what the market wants. So I am watching Litecoin. I mentioned this on Twitter. I have not gotten into positions. I also mentioned you want to wait until the breakout. And this is why we're having a little bit of fake outs here. But these are all telling me that, listen, wait for stage 2 because it's coming. And what happens once we break above this line, we go into stage 2, part 1. And it'll be a little bit weak, but it'll come up. And then if we do break above this line, right, whether we retest or not, this will be where your parabolic phase starts, your stage 2, part 2, just like on all my other charts. So keep watching this one, guys. It's not a setup just yet, even though we have a breakout arrow, but this could be the catalyst that puts us into stage 2, which would be your setup. And I think this could be a good one.
Yeah, and it's really hard right now to find things that are basing and haven't already broken out.
It really is. So guys, Scott brought up a great point. Then I think we can end on that note, is that you're either looking for, at this point, right, you're either looking for a retest of a resistance on green dots for a setup, or you're trying to find the very few that are still basing in stage 1 that show you signs that it really wants that stage 2 breakout. Absolutely, Scott.
Yeah, I totally agree. So guys, first of all, I just want to show you, here's that Franklin Templeton tweet, the value between meme coins and their native networks. Wow. Did a whole paper on it. I don't know if that's top signal for meme coins, by the way, because my gut instinct most of the time would be like, if Franklin Templeton's talking about meme coins, that's it. But also, as always, people are asking in the comments, you know, what are the indicators? It's Trading Alpha. This is the website right here. The link is right down below. If you use that link and enter 25OFF, 25 off, you get 25% off. This is the only place that you can do it. It's what I use. It's what he uses. It's what Shardy uses. I mean, if you're going to, if you're investing, dude, stay on the sidelines, enjoy, ride this spot market, live in the sun and be happy. But if you are trying to actively trade this market, this is the way to do it, in my opinion.
Absolutely, guys. I'm going to give you a few cheat sheet tips here. Okay, literally, if you want to make money in this bull market, there's a couple of things you need to do. If you get the indicators, follow me, follow Shardy. That's I think her handle is Shardy B2. Go Shardy B2. She does the low time frames. I do the mid and higher time frames. Follow us, come on our Discord. The Discord is free in the VIP section, only to yearly members. It is completely free, so I can have a better connection with you guys and help you guys win like I was this morning, okay? Do those two things and also read our doc, Scott, our instruction manual. You do that, follow Scott, follow his newsletter. You need to do nothing else. That's it.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Thank you as always. I'm going to go back out to the beach. Appreciate you guys showing up. Of course, guys, the Alpha Show again tonight. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Joe Vazani. The only show I'm not hosting, but I hope you guys check that out. It's amazing. And then tomorrow morning, I do have Raoul Paul at 9 a.m. So I know that will be a big one. Wick, man, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome. Put some sunscreen out, Scott. I'll see you next week.
Guys, go get these indicators. Later, brother.
That's dope.